When the story of the American prisoner of war, Bowe Bergdahl, broke, it sort of hit me on a really personal level, because that could have been me. I mean, the similarities are pretty striking. We were both homeschooled, we were both into martial arts, and he enlisted just about a year before I was considering joining the armed forces. And the reason I didn't was for the same reasons he sought to get out. I couldn't morally justify my actions of being part of the armed forces of the United States of America during this time of endless war. I'll never regret that decision not to join, because I've been judged by the color of my passport. I've had people look at me with suspicion because of the actions taken in my name. I've had to look people in the eye who have lost everything in their countries because people bought with my money, my tax dollars, bombed their houses, killed their relatives, and for nothing. It could have not just been my involuntary financial contribution. That could have been me flying that plane, driving that tank, pulling the trigger, have actual blood on my hands. And I thank God I don't. I mean, in his own words, in Bowe's own words, we don't even care when we hear each other talk about running their children down in the dirt streets with our armored trucks. We make fun of them in front of their faces. The horror that is America is disgusting. I started to think like that just when I was really seriously considering joining the military. And I'm glad I came to that conclusion a little bit sooner. I'm glad I realized that this was not all about protecting America. This wasn't about protecting the future of the human race, of the free world. This wasn't about any of that. This was all about wars based on lies. And I started to come to that conclusion just in time to be saved from this fate. And unfortunately, Bowe wasn't quite so lucky. Now he's called a traitor by many, but I think he's the last sane person in the military, which is why he wanted out. I mean, who wouldn't want to run for the hills when your options are to stay and keep being part of a monstrous machine with no end in sight and just an endless cycle of violence? We have no actual clue anymore in what way we're fighting for our own safety, because we aren't. Bowe came to this very sad conclusion when it was already too late. He was already in too deep. And so he got out in the only way he could. I'm glad I was spared that. And now, I don't think I'm going to fight to save this country by joining the very forces that are bringing it to the ground. I'm not going to join with the state of tyranny and aid and abet them while fighting people who had nothing to do with anything regarding the destruction of this free country. I'm not going to join with them. That's not how I'm going to fight for a better future, for a better America. I'm going to do it by peacefully struggling to reduce the size and scope of the government in my lifetime as far as I can get it. That's how I'm going to fight for a better future. I'm glad I was able to dedicate my life to this instead of dedicating it to the complete opposite. As poor Bowe Bergdahl said himself, the future is too good to waste on lies. So, I'm glad I didn't waste mine.